Hi, it's Jasmin. You know, that girl who did you know what way before the internet ever existed. Join me and my special guest every week as we talk about anything and everything because nothing is too taboo. So punch your ticket and get on board the Krazy Train with me, Jasmin St. All aboard! Welcome to a brand new episode of Krazy Train Podcast. This week's guest is one of my favorites, definitely one of the hottest babes of the 90s, and I know a lot of you guys remember her. Let's welcome to the show, Tiffany Million. So you are one of my favorite babes of the 90s, Tiffany. I'm so happy I found you on Facebook. I always wondered, like, what happened to Tiffany? Whatever happened to Tiffany Million? Like, what is she doing now?
Oh, well, there's a big post about it on my Facebook page that in 1995, 1994, my father had a heart attack and passed away suddenly. And he lived in Montana, and I was the executor of the estate. So I had to drop everything and deal with his death in the estate, and it took a huge toll on me. And that's why I left the business suddenly. He left me a lot of money. And so it afforded me the opportunity to just kind of take a break, clear my head, let the dust settle, figure out my next move. And during that time, I was offered a job in radio. And so I took the job in radio and did that for a couple of years. And then I got pregnant with my second daughter. And then I met my husband and got married. And we were married for 23 years. So as much as I missed the business and wanted to come back, I couldn't. So my husband and I divorced this past June, and I'm swinging single again, and I'm coming back. I'm back in the business after the AVN convention, and I'm very excited about it because I really miss it.
You're like the only person I know that misses the business. I don't miss it. I miss some of the people. I miss the crazy parties and the wildness of the 90s. But now I don't think I'd enjoy it as much. But you were in Glow at one point, weren't you? When were you a Glow girl?
Yeah, in the late 80s. I joined Glow in 1987, and I left in early 1990. So I was on it. Out of the 4 seasons that Glow ran, I was on seasons 3 and 4.
What was your stage name?
I was part of the tag team, the Park Avenue Knockouts. I was Tiffany Million. So there was Tiffany Million and Roxy Astor, the Park Avenue Knockouts.
So were you trained to wrestle? Did Mondo Guerrero train you as well?
Yes, he did. Mondo Guerrero trained us, as well as Ninochka, who was one of the heels, one of the Glow heels. She trained us as well.
That's so funny because I was trained by Mondo when I started to go into wrestling, and by a girl that was working with Glow, Sue Sexton. I don't know what her name was on Glow, but she was Australian. Yeah, so she trained me at first in Calabasas. Were you doing the catfight videos too?
I did some catfight videos with Sue, yes. Sue was actually never a Glow girl, but she did a lot of like wrestling and catfight stuff around LA, and I did some of that with her, yes.
That sounds like so much fun. I never went down that route, but it looked so cool. And I remember seeing in the back of the magazines, hey, for $9.95, you can get a catfight video. It's like, what are these videos supposed to be? Whatever brought you into the adult film business? Because you've done so many interesting things that we definitely have to talk about, Glow being one of them. But why did you even consider adult?
Before I got into adult, I was doing Foxy Boxing. So after I left Glow, I was doing the road shows for the Hollywood Tropicana. And through the Hollywood Tropicana, I met a guy who ran their road shows. And he and I fell in love, and we moved in together and had my first daughter. So during the time we were together, he got a job as first DJ and then general manager of the Deja Vu Club in Bakersfield. So the club had an adult video store attached to it. And so when he would get off work at night, he would bring home adult videos for us to watch. And then we would get all hot and bothered and fuck all night long. And I would watch these videos and think to myself, oh my God, I could do so much better because these women don't take care of their bodies. Half of them can't act. And I don't know. I just thought I could do so much better than what I was seeing. But he, of course, didn't want me to do it. So when we split up, and I moved from Bakersfield back to Los Angeles. I was stripping, and I just started asking around the club that I was stripping at if anybody knew anybody in the porn biz. And one gentleman knew Rev Sawitz at Pretty Girl International, which he was the competition to Jim South at World Modeling. So he introduced me to Rev, and the rest is history. Rev signed me immediately, and I went straight to the top, probably because I was a former glow girl and I had, street creds.
Yeah. And also an amazing physique, by the way. I always remembered you working out. You had such a hard body. What was your workout routine back then? Were you doing it like 5 days a week?
Oh, 5 or 6 days a week. Yes, I was going to Gold's Gym in North Hollywood, and I was doing Tae Bo with Billy Blanks. I was doing CrossFit. I was teaching spinning. I was hiking. I was biking. Oh yeah, I was every day. I was doing something. You bet. And plus, I was doing keto before keto was keto.
Really? What was it then? Like
Yes,
the
before
Atkins or something? Miami
it
diet?
wasn't anything. It was just how I was eating. There wasn't even a name for it. I was doing high fat diet, high protein, low carbohydrate, and this is before it was trendy.
Yeah, which reminds me, I really want to have a chocolate bar today. So I'm like, I'll withhold. I'm still like 104 pounds. So I haven't gained much weight since you knew me. I believe I was heavy like at one point, which is unacceptable to me. But it was such a different world back then in adult. Like everyone took care of themselves. We had our hair done, our nails done, we were in the gym, everything. And it's so different now. So when you got back into it
Yes.
now, was it a surprise to you?
Well, I've pretty much been under a rock for 30 years, Jasmine. I really am not familiar with today's talent. So, but what little I've seen, um yeah,
Yeah.
it's way different. It's way different. There's definitely a lot missing from today's porn.
Glamour?
A lot of the glamour, just the style, the sensuality, the passion, the human connection. It's just all so mechanical. There's no heat. There's no style. Smut should be an art, and it's not an art form anymore.
Yeah, that's true. It feels as though they just put on like whatever they put on, whatever little outfits they may have worn to bed the night before and shoot a scene. There are no costumes, there's no theme. Now, remember when did you work for John T-Bone at one point?
Oh, yes. As a matter of fact, John T. Bone shot Star Banger 6.
That's right. You did Star Bangers. What was that
Mm-hmm.
like?
Oh, I love doing Star Bangers. It was such a challenge because before I did my Star Bangers, everybody else did 8 guys. And I asked John T. Bone, I said, well, do I have to do 8 guys? And he said, well, if you don't do 8 guys, it's kind of not really a gangbang. And I said, oh, no, I want to do more than 8. And he said, well, how many do you want to do? And I said, I don't know. Let's double it. Let's do 16. And so if you watch Starbanger 6 very closely, you'll notice that I don't just fuck every guy in the movie. I seduce and make love to each one of those 16 guys. I made every guy feel like he was the only guy in the room. And I controlled every single one of those guys. And I enjoyed every second of it. But the funny part of that movie, the little known fact, is that and all 16 guys jizzed on me. There were no showers at that facility where we shot the movie. So I had to go home with the jizz of 16 guys all over me. And I walked in the door, and my daughter, who was little at the time, came running up to me. Mommy, I'm hungry. Mommy, I'm hungry. Make me dinner. Make me dinner. And I'm like, stay away from me. Stay away from me. I told my husband at the time, who was also a porn actor, I got him into it. He went by the name Richie Razor. I was like, get her away from me. I'm covered in jizz. But I ended up making dinner for the family because she was so hungry she couldn't wait for me to take a shower. So I made dinner as soon as I came home with the dry jizz of 16 guys like in my hair and everything.
Oh my God, bless your little soul. I could not be that nice to even one guy on set ever. I don't know why, but I just like being there. I think I like torturing them or something. It was some sick part of me. But 16 guys, now they have all these other gangbangs these days, like 100, 900. You really think those are actual numbers?
Hard to say, but it's one thing to have the numbers. It's another thing to do it like I did, where I made sure that every single guy in that room felt like he was the only one. Every single guy I made love to, every single guy got my attention, every single guy had interaction with me on a one-on-one level. It was very important to me that they felt that way, that they felt that they were special, even though it was a gangbang. And if you watch the movie, you'll see that.
I think I'll have to watch it. I never really watched porn before. I saw one movie my entire life prior to getting into porn with Randy West, Hayape Shali, and Peter North. But at the end of the movie, whoever was in charge of the credits reversed the names. So Peter North showed up under Randy West. Randy West's name showed up under Peter North. So when I requested
Oh
Peter
my
North
goodness.
when I wanted to work with Peter North for my first scene, I thought it was some tall blonde hunk. I got like a tall dark-haired hunk, but it wasn't so bad. It could have been worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Who
Peter
was
was always so wonderful to work with, and we were friends offset as well.
Oh, were you? Okay, cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, I knew him offset briefly, but that was it. Didn't you do quite a few mainstream projects as well? I believe you might have been in the Freak of the Week video with Ron Jeremy.
Oh gosh, I don't know. I've done so much mainstream work. You'd have to look at my IMDb.
Yeah.
I forget like what I've done.
You did quite a bit, but I remember that video because there are a lot of girls from Adult in that video. I think you were in it, Dominique Simone, and just fast forward to now, I feel as though it's a different world with adult film stars being, or porn, do you want to call them porn stars, porn performers doing mainstream? I feel like it's more open, you know? Back then, I feel like it was a harder thing for us. What are your thoughts on OnlyFans?
Oh, I love OnlyFans. It's allowed, kind of like Napster originally did for musical artists and stuff. It's allowed us to have more direct contact with our fan base and sell them directly. It gives us more control over our content, gives you more options. Um, I think it's wonderful because my fans or my subscribers on OnlyFans are able to message me directly and make requests and tell me what they want to see, and I'm able to respond to them directly. And I just love the interaction with them. I've always loved my fans. I interact with them on social media on a regular basis, and so long as they're respectful and don't send me unsolicited dick pics, which I hate, um, I respond to each and every message that I get on social media.
Yeah, I get a lot of unsolicited dick photos, but you could do rate a dick pic on OnlyFans. Have you done that yet? Where you rate the guy's
Not yet, no.
I think I'd be mortified. Um, so how long do you actually spend on your OnlyFans every day? Like, is it an everyday thing for you, or do you do it 3 days a week? You always struck me as really organized and very calculated with everything. So,
Well, I haven't been able to make any content for a couple of weeks because of, my eye surgery. So I'm probably another week I'll make some more content. But my OnlyFans is kind of unique in the sense that it depicts my real sex life with my real 23-year-old lover. So there are no performances on my OnlyFans. It is only my real sex life with, like I said, my 23-year-old lover.
23 years old, that's too old. You have to be 80 with an 18-year-old lover. So that's like probably your future like mother or like father-in-law. Yeah, mother or father-in-law if it's a guy. Is it a guy or a girl lover we're talking about?
A guy. It's a
Oh, then
guy.
that's like your
Yeah.
future father-in-law. No, no, no. No, yeah. But that's what I always tell my guy friends. You have to be 80 with the 18-year-old girlfriend. So a lot of them are dating their future mother-in-laws at this point. How did you meet a 23-year-old? I mean, you're gorgeous, but how does that work? Did you approach him? Did he approach you? Where'd you meet?
He works at a local cellular provider, and I went in there to see about switching my service because the neighborhood that I moved into, Verizon doesn't work very well here. So I went into his store to see about switching my service, and he was my salesman. And we just like hit it off. We spent about a good hour together talking about switching my service. Well, I ended up not switching my service, but about a half an hour after I left the store, he texted me and said, "Wow, I think you're really hot. I'd like to take you out." And I thought, gosh, this guy is so young. He's like 35 years younger than me. Now, I've always loved younger men, but that was like super young. Um, but I got to tell you, Jasmin, the connection was undeniable. We just had this connection that I've never had with anybody so quickly. So I thought, well, I'll give him a chance. And I'm so glad that I did, because he is the love of my life. Absolutely. I mean, he's the hottest fuck I've ever had on or off camera.
Well, I think a lot of younger men prefer older women because we don't play the games that the younger girls do. We're more sexually open to things because a lot of these, like nowadays, you look at a girl the wrong way. Next thing you know, you're getting canceled, you're getting Me Too'd or a sexual harassment
Yes.
lawsuit. So does he
Yes,
perform with you on
definitely.
OnlyFans at all?
Yeah, like I was saying, my OnlyFans features just the two of us and our real sex life.
Jesus Christ, that talk about being organic and natural. Wow. Are you looking for a safe way to bet online where there is something for everyone, including yourself? Then go to betonline.ag where I am sure you will find something. Don't forget, it's betonline.ag for the most variety and the safest way to bet online.
Does not show his face though. His face, he either wears a mask or his face is off camera, because he's just a normal guy with a normal job, and he's also a Christian and he goes to church. So he hides his face.
Hey, Jesus likes ass also, please. Uh, Seriously. So going back to the 90s, I know that you've done quite a bit of scenes with really amazing, stellar actors. Who were your three of your top favorites to work with back then? And personally, like my favorite that I saw of you was TT Boy and your scene.
Yeah, TT Boy wasn't one of my favorites. Shawn Michaels has always been my favorite. Shawn Michaels, Shawn Michaels, Shawn Michaels. And I just found out recently from Michael Stefano, who I'm friends with, that I've always been Shawn Michaels' favorite too. And I did not know this back then. I just found this out. So Shawn and I are in contact again, and we are going to meet up at AVN, and we are planning a reunion scene.
Oh my God, that's going to be so cool. Sean is one of those people I've heard nothing but golden things about. So, what's at AVN this year for you? Are you signing? Are you promoting OnlyFans? Are you getting an award?
Well, I was just inducted into the Hall of Fame, so I'll be giving my Hall of Fame acceptance speech. It took them long enough, 30 years, but hey, better late than never, right? I'm grateful. I'm mainly going to be there with my crew. I was just brought on as producer, director, and talent for Velvet Dream Studios, which is Foxy Darlin's group. So, Foxy Darlin, the Hot Gilf Tour. This is my new family, and I will be producing and directing for Velvet Dream Studios. So I will be hanging out with her and supporting her because she is nominated for an award. So I'll be hanging out with them. So we'll pretty much just be walking the floor. I'm not signing for anybody. I'm just going to be there walking the floor. And I have a lot of things to do while I'm in Vegas. I'm going to be doing TT Boyd's podcast on Saturday morning. And then I'm going to see Michael Nin and his wife Q while I'm there, because I've maintained contact with Michael Nin over the 30 years that I've been gone. He's a dear friend. So I'll be going to see him. And yeah, mainly just walking the floor and reintroducing myself to the industry, letting everybody see that I'm back, let them see what I look like, meeting fans. I'll be bringing my Sharpie, so I'll have my Sharpie on me.
It sounds so exciting. I might go back next year just to say hi to everyone. I got my award years ago for Hall of Fame, but they didn't have you do speeches. They just called your names out and then they shipped the trophy to you. And it was like this small, cheap little thing, but I still have it. I think it's kind of cool to have that. Tell me about Dog the Bounty Hunter, because someone told me that you were bounty hunting. Then someone else said you have
Oh
a
yeah.
TV show doing it. I said, what, with Dog, the guy with the mullet? Like, did you work with the mullet man with Dog?
No, we never worked together, but I had my own TV reality show in 2007 on the We Network called Wife Mom Bounty Hunter. And I got my start in bounty hunting with a very well-known bounty hunter in Los Angeles by the name of Zeke Unger. And Zeke had his own TV show as well for a while. He had his own company called World Executive Protection Group. So I got my start with him. He trained me. And he and Dog are really good friends. So Dog used to call the office all the time, and that's how I got to know him. And he would always flirt with me and email me and text me and call me. And every time he and Beth had a fight, he would get a hold of me and say, "Are you and your husband still together? When are you going out with me?" And then after we would get off the phone, I would inevitably get a text message or an email from Beth saying, "Stay away from my husband, you dirty bitch," or whatever. And I'd message her back and I'd say, "Don't worry, lady. Don't flatter yourself. I wouldn't go out with your husband if he was the last man on earth."
They always think we want their husbands, and we don't want your husbands, because if we wanted them so bad, we would have had them already. Please. That's just ridiculous.
Dog wanted to do a TV show with me, though. He pitched an idea to me, and it was actually a really great idea where it would be three teams of bounty hunters. So it would be the bounty hunters from his show, the bounty hunting team from my show, and the bounty hunting team from Family Bonds. And there would be a case where all three of us had to pursue the same fugitive, and whoever caught the fugitive first was the winner. Of course, my team would have won because we were the best and we had the real guns, Dog. Yeah, so it never happened because Beth put the kibosh on it. She was like, "Oh no. I think she was probably a little jealous. God rest her soul, but I have nothing against her at all, but she certainly wasn't very friendly to me."
Well, yeah, I don't blame her. I mean, I get it. That's usually the case. It's a jealous wife, jealous girlfriend, and it always kiboshes business somehow. Like, I've had so many great little business propositions here and there. Then it's the wife or the girlfriend. It's like, come on already. No one wants to screw your husband or boyfriend, whatever it is.
Plus, I was married at the time, and my husband was 12 years younger than me. He's exceedingly handsome, like model handsome. He's hung like a horse. He's got the best personality, although we're divorced now, but I have nothing bad to say about him. He's a great man. And what would I want to do with Dog?
A TV show.
I had my own TV show. I don't need him.
Another one. Yeah, I needed a bounty hunter like a few years ago during COVID, but we had it taken care of. Do you know who Taylor Wayne is?
Yes.
I think her ex was a bounty hunter. So we were getting advice. I was taking advice from him for something. I should have been a bounty hunter. Can't you shoot people legally?
Yes, you can. Yeah, your own clients. Uh-huh.
Oh, that would have been so perfect, so right up my alley. But is Arizona an open? Is that an open and carry state in Arizona?
It's actually a concealed carry state without a permit. So carry concealed here without a permit. Yes.
You shouldn't be telling me these things. Like right now where I am, I don't know what the law is in California. I just carry it. I don't really care. If I have to use it, I have to use it. But it's become so dangerous. Like Hollywood is not like how we remembered it. The Valley, any of that. Which club were you stripping at in the Valley? Blue Zebra, Bob's?
So I don't remember the name, but what I do remember is that Sarah Jane Hamilton was stripping there at the same time that I was, and we both got into the industry, and she ended up being my lover.
Somehow this doesn't surprise me with you. I feel as though you've had a lot of sexual experiences with people, but very intimate ones.
Yes, a lot of women. I've been with more women than most men.
Why is that?
I love women.
Okay, what about the Brazilian girl that I see all these photos of her on your Facebook?
Yes, I'm bringing her to America in, well, probably March or April. We're working on it right now. But I'm keeping her name and her social media under wraps right now. But she's going to be coming to America. She wants to get into the porn biz. So I told her I would help her do that. She's going to start off on my OnlyFans. And I'm going to give her all the exposure she needs and make all the contacts that she needs. And as a thank you to me, after we're done shooting for my OnlyFans, she's going to fulfill one of my fantasies for me.
Okay, I'm almost scared to ask, but I feel bold enough. What's the fantasy?
My fantasy is to watch my 23-year-old cub fuck another MILF right in front of me. So she's going to do that for me. And I've already sent her pictures of him and everything, and she's totally into it. So I'm really excited because how dirty can I get on your show?
You can get as dirty as you want. I've gotten way dirtier with people before, so this is very G-rated right now.
Oh, okay, good. So I am totally excited because the one thing I'm dying to do is I want him to fuck her and I want him to pull his cock out and I want to suck her juices off his cock so bad.
I'm sure he's like hating life right now, just even
Oh,
thinking about
yeah.
that, right? This is just terrible. Yeah. Um,
Oh, I'm so dying to do that.
well, when you're married, did you have threesomes and stuff? Did you have anything like that? Any arrangements?
You know what? I think that's why our marriage didn't last because even though my husband he's a really wonderful human being and he's hung like a horse, our sex life was terrible. Terrible.
That's such a shame.
Yeah, it was just awful. It was so vanilla. And without going into too much detail, because I would never want to embarrass him and make him look bad, but our sex life was just not good. And I put up with it for 23 years. And now I'm taking out all those pent up frustrations on my 23-year-old boyfriend, and he's the lucky beneficiary.
I feel as though like right now you're prime. You know,
I
so
am.
are you taking testosterone at all or any estrogen?
No.
Okay. I was taking testosterone pellets for a little while and then I had to back off of it because they get you insanely horny. Like your libido goes from maybe a 4 or 5 to like 50 zillion. You'll have the libido of like an 18-year-old boy.
Now, what's the purpose of taking testosterone? Like, why did you take it in the first place?
To avoid menopause, I never hit menopause. I bypassed it with hormone replacement therapy.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so I didn't go through the weight gain. I didn't go through mood swings. I'm already a weirdo anyway. Um,
That makes two of us.
yes, I'm telling you. Okay, so working around younger guys that are wrestlers, I try to keep it as professional as I can. But like the oldest guy I had sex with was he's now 40 years old. It's like it's too old because I feel as though like at 40 that's a age like that's an age you could date someone, right? If he's broke, I don't want to have anything to do with him. So he's still calling me to hook up, but I just don't have the libido that I did before because I backed off of the testosterone for a couple of months. But I could still work out.
Oh my God, my libido is crazier than ever. I mean, if I was a sex beast when I was in the business before, I'm a sex beast on steroids now. Really bad.
Well, you look gorgeous and you look like you're having a good time, which is super important. What is the weirdest request you've received so far on OnlyFans?
Really not anything too weird on OnlyFans. There is a video. My guy just loves me to rim job him, and I'm the first one to ever do it to him. So when I say get on your knees, he jumps. So there's a video of him on his knees with me licking his asshole and jacking him at the same time. And man, does he fucking love that. Woo! That boy loves that.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, I bet that this is the most amount of sex he's had in his life in any like given week, given month, because you guys do it all the time, is what it sounds like, right?
Yeah, we do. And honestly, Jasmine, he's the first man ever in my life to make me come from just straight penetration. I don't have to touch my clit. I don't have to use a vibrator, nothing. He sticks it in, he's in for 3 minutes. I am coming the whole rest of the time he's here. Extreme, like coming so hard that I bust out into hysterical laughter. And He is the first guy that I ever squirted with. I squirt like a machine. I didn't even think my body was capable of it. So when I say that he's the hottest fuck I've ever had in my life, on or off camera, I'm not talking by a little bit. I'm talking by leaps and bounds. Like nobody has ever made me feel this way before. It's insane.
Let me ask you this about squirting. People say with squirting that it's urine. Is that what it is?
No,
I
it's
hear
not.
different things. Okay.
No, no, it's not urine. No, it's definitely like it's like cum. It's like female cum. It's like almost like saliva. It's clear and thick and slimy. And I can feel it when it's going to happen because you get this burning pressure and then there's all of a sudden this release and you just get so wet.
I think you should be giving classes on sex, or like a sex familiarity class, because so many people are out there that aren't aware of what squirting is. Everyone says it's urine. Some people say no, it's not urine. Some people say, oh, it's something else. So there was a girl back in the 90s that would squirt all the time. Her name was Mila. And I think the rumors started that it was piss is because she was always hungover when she worked, and she was drinking quite a bit, like alcohol on set. And guys thought she was peeing on them, literally, instead of squirting.
Well, Sarah Jane Hamilton was a squirter too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was a squirter, and she and I were lovers in real life, and she would squirt on my face when I would go down on her. So I can guarantee you it wasn't urine because I had it on my face.
Maybe just with Mila, it was urine. Who are some of your favorite directors to work for back in the 90s, aside from Michael Lynn? And he looked like he had some really cool stuff going on.
Yeah, Michael Lynn tops the list. I mean, there is nobody like him. He's a true artist and a true gentleman and a soft spoken person. But like I used to like to work with Paul Thomas and on I'm trying to think. Mike Sedan, I liked working with. Henri Pachard. But my favorite, he's now deceased, was my partner in crime for my own production company. I had my own production company in the 90s called Immaculate Video Conceptions, which was a stab at my Catholic school upbringing. Yes. And my partner in crime, his real name was Phil Vosa, but he went by the name Jean-Pierre Ferrand, and he was by far my favorite. I mean, we did everything together. We produced, we direct, we produced, we directed, we wrote. We were best buddies, and he unfortunately passed away of a heart attack in the early 2000s. But he was my all-time favorite besides Michael Ninn.
I'm sorry to hear about that.
Yeah.
Getting back into the scene now, did you find any challenges like putting your name back out there? Well, everyone knows who you are, like from that era, but to the newbies, did you have a hard time marketing yourself, or how do you find yourself recruiting more people to your page?
It's crazy, like how many of them know who I am. I'm really surprised. I get messages from like guys, male talent, like from 18 to 23 all the time saying, "Oh my God, you're a legend. I want to work with you." I'm like, "Oh, that's so great." Like they know who I am. That's really cool.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm glad you're doing well. You look gorgeous. And I always knew that you're up to different things, mainstream, adult. And by the way, why did you even get started with Glow? Like, did you like wrestling growing up?
No, I was never even athletic. I actually nearly flunked PE in high school. I
Really?
hated PE. Yes, I was not. I was living in Orange County with these two lesbians, and they were my roommates. And the one who was more manly of the two, one time she called me downstairs on a Saturday morning, and she's like, because my real name is Sandra, so she's like, Sandy, you got to come downstairs and watch this crazy show on TV. It's these women wrestling, and they were in these tight, sexy costumes, and they got this crazy makeup, and there's all these crotch shots, and boobs are practically falling out, and like you could see their ass, and they're wearing thongs, and I'm like, oh, I'm intrigued. So so I became a fan of the show. So one time, shortly thereafter, I was at my agent's office in North Hollywood, just kind of going through what was coming out on the dailies and everything. And behind him, God, my ear pod keeps coming out. Behind him on the wall, there was a notice saying Glow auditions. I think I have them in the wrong ear. I think that's why they keep falling out. Is there glow auditions on the wall behind him? And I'm like, oh, Michael. I said, I am such a huge fan of that show. Send me out for that show. And he's like, you want to go out for that? And I'm like, yeah, send me out for that. So he sent me out. I went and met Matt Simber, who was the director of Glow, at his tennis club in West LA, and talked to him for a couple hours. So he immediately cast me on the show. But here's a little trivia that I always forget to share this every time I'm on a podcast. So when the notice for Glow was on the wall behind my agent, and I was like saying I want to be cast for that, right next to it was a headshot on the wall of this really gorgeous man. And I said to my agent, I go, by the way, who is that gorgeous man tacked next to the Glow notice? And he turns around, he goes, that's John. He's going to be a big star someday. It was Johnny Depp.
Really?
Yes, we were with the same agency. And that was before he was on 21 Jump Street.
Which agent
It's when
was
he
this?
first came to. It was called BJ Casting in North Hollywood. And it was the initials of the casting agent. His name is Yakov Bressler, or Jacob, but the Russian Yakov Bressler. And so he reversed his initials. So I know everybody, I go, BJ Casting. Well, that's so appropriate for a Hollywood casting agency, you know. But so Johnny Depp was with him for a short time when he first came to LA, and we were with the same agency.
That is so wild. My God.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that. Well, let me ask you this. I mean, you do follow some of the Hollywood news, right? Like with Weinstein and all of that.
A little bit.
Would you have flown Weinstein for a really big role?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not, because I've had the opportunity before, casting couch opportunities, and I've always turned them down. I don't need it that bad.
Yeah, I haven't heard of like a casting couch opportunity in forever since the whole Weinstein scandal. Um, so I don't know. Some girls say yes, some girls say no. Maybe I would have. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to say unless you're in that situation.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're in the situation. But there's never a guarantee. Like there's this one creep in Hollywood, and I'll say his name because he's such a fucking creep and he did me really wrong. His name is Michael Levine. And he's really well known in Hollywood. And he tried that shit with me, and I turned him down, and he like fucked me over really bad. He's a total creep. So stay away from Michael Levine.
I have not. It sounds familiar, but I've not heard that name. I've dealt with enough creeps in Hollywood. It's just like, okay, whatever. I don't care. I like working overseas. That's more fun. Uh, it's easier to get more acting jobs there if you speak other languages and everything. So it just seems like it's a better culture. That I don't mind doing. But dealing with some of the scum in this town, I feel as though I've become so ornery because you hear it all, you see it all, and it's just like zero patience or tolerance after a while. So where you are is perfect. It's probably away from everything and it's nice and calm. Do you have any intentions of going anywhere else aside from AVN, maybe like XBiz or anything like that?
No, I'll go wherever my group goes. So wherever Foxy Darlin and the Hot Gilf Tour and Mr. Foxy and all them go, I'll go. Because they're my family now. So we plan on staying at AVN. I think a few of them are going to go over to XBiz. I wasn't going to go to the award show, but now, of course, that I'm Hall of Fame, I'm going to go. And of course, now that Foxy is up for an award, I want to support her. So I will be there at the award show. And it's a great photo op because I want to be photographed with Foxy since we're in business together now. So I will be at the award show. I wasn't originally going to go.
Very different from what I understand. A few girls came on my show last year that were at the show last year. I believe it was Dominique Simone. She has a book, but she told me she was standing in line to like walk the red carpet for close to 2 hours because there's like so many girls.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's a different world. Like I'm very like on the fence of going for the day. I don't know. It's one of those things. If I show up, I'll just show up and not even say anything and just walk and just leave, and that's it.
We were talking, I wanted to go back to something we were talking about a moment ago. We were talking about, Hollywood and all the creeps and stuff. I've tried, I'm naturally a very kind, warm, friendly people person kind of person. I'm real bubbly and friendly. And I've tried really hard over the years not to let Hollywood jade me and turn me hard. I've tried to stay approachable to my fans and stay warm and friendly and smiley and happy, and it's not easy, but being in Arizona now and putting some distance between myself and that world has definitely helped restore a lot of that in me.
I could totally tell. I think most people that leave and move to other states like Florida, Arizona, and other places are very different. When I lived out of California for a long time, it was a way different vibe. But I bounce out of here often enough to not let it get to me. But I just think sometimes when it's so in your face every day, it just kind of affects you. But I don't live in Hollywood. I don't even like going out up there at all.
Oh, I hate going back to California now, Jasmine, and I avoid California like the plague. I go back there only if I absolutely have to. We left in 2006, and I slam the door behind me, and I try to go back as little as possible. My whole family lives here now. My parents were the last to leave. They moved to Arizona 4 years ago, so now everybody lives in Arizona. My whole family lives here.
Plus, it's probably warmer. It's like freezing today. So I believe in Arizona, you get a little bit better weather there.
Yeah, and I live in northern Arizona, so it's not hot here. It's not like down in Phoenix in the valley. Like it doesn't get over 100 degrees here where I live. And everybody always goes, "Oh, Arizona's so hot." I'm like, "Not where I live, it isn't."
See, but I like the hot weather. I like if it's 80 degrees outside at night, I still keep the heater on. Like I'll put the heater on so it's like 85, 90. Then I'll wake up
You're
like,
insane.
yeah, but then I'll wake up at 3, 4 in the morning. Why is it so hot in here? Oh, duh, I have the heater on. I spend a lot of time in south of France. So when I go there, like during the summertime, it's so insanely hot. This past summer was so hot, but I still had the heater on in my room.
Oh gosh, you're crazy. I like the cold. I'm a cold person. I don't like the heat.
I guess it's good for the skin. It's good for the skin. It is. So
Yeah.
I'd like to have all your socials so everyone knows where to find you, including your OnlyFans, Facebook, whatever it is.
Okay, well, my OnlyFans and loyal fans are real easy. It's just onlyfans.com/Tiffany Million. Now remember, my name is spelled Tyffany. Okay, so it's going to be onlyfans.com/Tyffany million, loyalfans.com/Tiffany Million. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/Tiffany Million, Tyffany Million. On Twitter, it's at Tiffany Million. And Instagram is Tiffany_million, always spelled Tyffany. They have been misspelling my name, Jasmine, for
Oh,
30 plus years. It doesn't matter how many times I put TY, they put TI. So I recently bought my domain because I tried for years to get my domain and somebody else owned it and they tried to get me for thousands of dollars. So I guess they figured I was never coming back and gave it up. So recently I went on GoDaddy just to see if my name was available. And not only was Tiffany Million available with TY, but the misspelling of my name was available too. So I grabbed both of them and now I own them.
that's good. Yeah, it's spelling someone's name, like misspelling it is the worst thing. I hate it when people always put an E at the end of Jasmine. It's like, no, there is no E at the end of Jasmine. It's at the end of Claire. Anyway,
Mm-hmm.
thanks for stepping in with us on Saturday, this lovely Saturday afternoon. And I hope to see you either at AVN in person someday sooner than later. And sit tight.